everyone. This is Donna's Happy Hour. Just a reminder to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you get future notifications of the videos. And please leave a comment. Thank you. Have a great day. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Donna's Happy Hour. I am so excited because today I am at Father John's Animal House in Lafayette, New Jersey. I was last here back in, I believe, 2018, way before COVID, and pleasantly surprised that they are still up and running, and actually, even through COVID, they were able to find homes for the dogs and cats and kittens and puppies that were here. So without any further ado, as you can see, I don't have my cocktail with me, but grab your drinks, whatever they may be, because I'm hoping you'll spend the next hour with me. Garrett, I want to thank you so much for having us again, and so glad to hear that everybody fared pretty well through COVID.
It's been a journey.
It's been a journey, yes, it has, for everyone, I know. Unfortunately, we've lost people and lost even animals, and that is a point I wanted to ask you. Now, I know that you said that you and some of the staff did get the COVID virus.
Yeah.
What precautions did you, I mean, I know you were telling me you were always wearing masks and taking precautions. When you heard that possibly cats could get the virus, what did you do? Did you have to change anything different?
So it's interesting because it's a lot like what we see on the news and everything. The science is developing.
Right.
However, the coronavirus is something that we've seen in cats for years and years and years, just not this type of virus that we've now seen jump into human beings. But it is something that we've seen in cats forever and ever. So I know when studies were first coming out, they assumed cats could be susceptible to this virus that's now infecting people. So until the science was really there, we definitely took very stringent precautions. We took precautions for ourselves. Luckily, I was the only person from Father John's that actually ever tested positive, and I was infected from my immediate family and quarantined appropriately. So we and we took it very seriously because we have a caretaker who lives here on property, who does have pre-existing conditions. He's a diabetic. He's been a kidney transplant recipient and everything. So, and this is his home as well as the cats and dogs. He has a real compromised system, right? So we wanted to be very safe for the cats, ourselves, and of course Leon, our caretaker. So we did have a situation where we took in a cat from a known infected and deceased person while the science was still very ambiguous. Wow. And we actually quarantined the cat that came out of that home. Once it came here, we were full PPE. We did actually donate quite a bit of PPE to local human-oriented organizations as well. But, you know, until we found out, well, hey, the risk might actually be much lower than we thought. We took very serious precautions. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's a scary, you know, because the data was changing so rapidly. As a matter of fact, when I went for my first COVID shot, at that time, I Googled whether or not I could take Advil or ibuprofen or any of those, because you knew you were going to get the sore arm, you knew you might get the low-grade fever and all of that. And at that point, they had said, yes, it was okay. So going back for my second shot, I decided to Google it again, and it has changed. Really? Yes. Okay. So I found, you know, that's how they're learning and changing, and I said, well, of course, probably next month it'll be back to what it was the first month, but you know, you got to kind of roll with the punches with that. Well, you know, obviously, if you were the only person that had it here,
and managed to not spread it, you guys were really taking the precautions that you needed, because we know how contagious it was.
Yeah, we definitely have been, since the early days, we limited the amount of foot traffic. We changed to an appointment-only basis for adoption counseling. We have our volunteers coming in on a schedule, and we were very active. And if you don't feel good, you don't show up. That's and that's really what saved us.
And the other thing that's so important for people to realize, and especially now with it being allergy season, people will sit there and go, they're sniffling and they're sneezing and they're coughing, and they'll go, oh, it's just my allergies. You cannot assume that.
Yeah.
Not now. You have to take the precautions to make everybody safe.
Absolutely.
You know what I wanted to ask? When people come to adopt, you obviously have a form that they fill out.
Yep.
What are some of the questions that are on that form?
The first half of the form is really geared towards travel and exposure potential.
Okay.
Then it's symptom tracking. So have you traveled outside of the state? Have you come in contact with anybody who's been known to be positive or experiencing symptoms related to the coronavirus? And then personal questions about, do you have a fever? Do you have any of the following symptoms? Those sorts of things.
Oh, wow.
And most of our adoption counseling now is done prior over the phone.
Okay.
And done outside. We do require that you wear masks while you're visiting.
Right.
Especially the dogs can be met outside. We have 2 play yards that they can play in. It's the cats where you actually have to come in and interact with them in an indoor environment that we try to play it very safe.
Right. And we will be going inside to show you the cats and the dogs and the puppies and the kittens and all that. And I will be wearing a mask at that time. The one question I had is, when you do an interview, whether it be on the phone with the person, do you ask them, how do I want to word this? Many people, I think, make the mistake of not realizing what type of dog would really be good for them and their family, if they have a family, or even to take into consideration the age of the person. Do you ask those kind of questions?
Yes, and sometimes you have to broach a very interesting conversation very delicately. We do ask for the ages of the folks that live in the home.
Right.
And we consider ourselves matchmakers. So you may come in here saying, I really want an Australian Shepherd, or I really want a Husky.
Right.
And a lot of why you want that dog is because of how they look, their appearance.
Right.
And so we really pride ourselves, our team here, especially the ladies that work in our kennel, getting to know you and getting to know your lifestyle, and then matching you to the personality and the behavior of the dog that we think is actually going to best serve you.
I think that is so smart, because it's true. It's so important to match that person up to the right dog, or not cats so much, but certainly the dogs, because you don't want them to wind up back here or wind up somewhere else because they didn't really think through what you're saying. That's, for instance, myself. Okay, I have always wanted I believe it's a Borzog.
A Borzoi?
Yeah,
the big ones.
Yeah, the big ones.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I'm only 5 feet. And I'm not a runner. I don't jog. I don't do any of the activities that I think that sort of dog would need. And so that would be really not a very good match for me. It may be something that I want, but really it's just common sense tells me it's not the right dog.
Now, see, you have common sense, but not everybody does.
That's true.
And where we see this the most is with the really young puppies.
Right.
you see a cute puppy and everybody wants to jump on board. You know, this is going to fit into my house. This is going to be amazing. I want this puppy.
Right.
It's a lot of work. It's like having a baby.
It is. It is. I have to tell you, you know, since I last saw you, my dog passed away.
Oh, no.
You know, 19 and a half years old.
Whoa.
What more can I ask for?
Yeah.
And I really would love another dog, but I'm doing the keeping myself in check, using my common sense and saying, you know, at this stage, do I want to go down that road again? You're looking at one of the biggest animal lovers. I do have a cat, so that's a help. But it's not a dog, you know. There's nothing to me like a dog. And I've had animals all my life. And my husband is saying, you know, we probably shouldn't, you know, we want to start traveling, we want to do this, we want to do that. Of course, COVID has a whole other program for us. But yeah, it's so important. So when you're looking for a dog or even a cat, because and I want to take back what I just said a few minutes ago, it's not so important with cats, but that's not true, because all different breeds of cats also have different personalities. And if you're looking for, let's say, a cat that just kind of wants to lay around, then you're probably not going to want to get one of the Oriental breeds. I mean, they're great, they're smart, but you have to know what you're getting into there again. So I just find it so interesting. So I'm glad that your staff is taking the time to ask the right questions, because it really is so important.
It's the most important.